Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Perennial. Present at all seasons of the year, persisting for several years, usually with new herbaceous growth from a perennating part. Persistent, enduring, continuing without interruption, constant, perpetual, regularly repeated or renewed, recurrent. Whew.
Sure. That's a lot of stuff.
So it's funny because it means like yearly, but I really think of the seasons when I think of the word perennial. Because some flowers are perennials and they come up at the same time each year, or they come up every year, but it's definitely like feels seasonal to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
about
definitely
you.
tied into nature with the name.
Oh, nice. I didn't do nature, but I did seasons.
Well, I want to hear it.
All right. Mine's pretty specific.
Okay.
2 to 4 players will very specific. They play merchants selling their wares at a all year round marketplace, but they sell very specific ones, and each one excels in a certain season of the year. So beach gear excels in the summer, toys excels in the winter around like the holidays, clothes maybe fall, like back to school and all that kind of stuff, and then I put flowers for spring. So each one of them excels in that area of the year. And that area of the year is a number 1 for them. Or, I'm sorry, is a number 4 for them because it's the greatest section. And then they go down, and each one has 4, 3, 2, 1, ordering their months. And because there's 4 different ones, the months are always unique. So there's always a number 4 for each season. There's always a number 3 for each season. It's always different. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So nobody shares.
So like a spring 3, winter 2,
exactly.
that kind of stuff.
Yep. So nobody is poor in the same month and whatever. So that's just how many they sell, and it's what they've been, projected over all the years that's their time of the year. So what's going to happen is we're going to go and make sales, and we have a whole bunch of like items in our hand that have dollar values, and we're going to go through a couple rounds of. And I said it was 4 rounds of placing your cards into this line of sales. And you can place anywhere in the line of sales. And I want to make where you place in the line matter. But what it is after everybody's played a card, it shifts with the highest priced items dropping off. So we each play one. The highest one goes away because customers aren't going to buy that. We play again. Highest one. We do that 4 times or 1 time per player or whatever it is. After the round ends, we evaluate the timeline. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it was very important. The turn order is reverse. So the person who's best in summer goes last in the summer.
Okay.
Totally important in the way that it works because at the end of the summer, we're going to look at the sales line and see what's sold and see if everybody got into their places where they normally should be. See if they improved or see if they, kept where they were. And the idea is you're supposed to keep where you are. And I was trying to see if it's good to make an improvement, which seems like it should be. But if you land in your desired position, especially the one who's supposed to be doing the best, then you don't get any bad tokens or something along those lines. Everyone who doesn't go in where they're going to go or better, I think I should say, also gets a bad token. End of the year, we look at renewal, which is the actual perennial part, and see who stayed as close to their projections as possible, if not better, and whoever didn't is now on the bad list. And what happens is, this is where I think it's kind of interesting, is they're going to choose another player to join with, and then the 2 of them become one shop. And the idea is the game's going to end when there is one shop and that shop wins, and it could end. I don't know how it would work, but that's what I wanted to see the year after year is people drop off, but they become essentially helpers of another shop. And you want to win, but you also don't want to share, and things all like that. That's kind of as far as I got with it.
Well, that's the thing. That's the perfect example for a everyone wins except one person.
I
Just
know,
one
I
loser.
had that on my mind, but I thought there could be two losers if we go into two teams and one of them just loses. That one, then only a team of two wins. So there's
okay.
a little bit of a nuance in a 4-player game at least. So I don't know how all that works. I think the seasonal stuff is better than the yearly stuff. But just timing of playing cards and interesting stuff like that. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, cool. Well, I actually didn't. I was thinking about doing nature stuff, but I was thinking of more how Perennial relates to mechanisms in a game, specifically something, whether it's a card or a board, that starts the game and stays there until the very end. It is not moved. It is not rotated or changed. Once it's there until the very end. So specifically like an additive game. So ones that kind of fit what I'm thinking are games like Sprawlopolis or Cacao or Ingenious, these games that start off with a center and then just build out.
Okay.
But you don't change or move anything once those things have been in place.
Yeah, of course.
In Cacao, you can overbuild stuff. In Sprawlopolis, you have these goals that stay out and you pass cards to each other. But I wanted specifically, just an additive game where it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and you don't shift it. And then specifically for the continually recurring part of Perennial, is something that you do every single turn. And so it's the simplicity of the action multiplied over turns and turns and turns and turns and turns. And so these plants can get larger and larger as they grow each year, because they have a constantly occurring little action. And so a game that I've been playing over the winter break that I've fallen in love with again is Loot by Reiner Knizia, published by Game Right. And it is so simple. It has a deck of cards, and on your turn you either draw or play. And so I would want to have an additive game where you have cards or tiles or whatever in your hand, and you either draw a card or play a card, because the timing in Loot is so critical.
Really?
And so rather than having play and draw, it's play or draw, and it's that decision just removing, just separating those two just makes it so genius. But I have no idea how to do it. Like I'm getting at these shallow actions, but like, I want to be able to see something just grow and get larger and larger. But when you play a card, you basically don't have to think about it again.
See, it's funny that you went in that direction, because I was looking at, which I'd say is in that similar vein, For Sale, which is just like as simple as it can get. And that was definitely like kind of the feeling of what I was going for. And it sort of, it has that, 2-phase game and things like that, but it's just you have one decision. Like, it's so easy. How is that so hard to design? That
Oh my gosh!
Like,
sure. And then, well, I mean, there's so many game designs on both ends of the spectrum, both very simple and very complex, where I just marvel at it to be like, how on earth do you design something like this?
I think with those simple ones, is it like, did it get down to that, or did it start at that? Like, that's to me is like, did you feel like there was too much and you were like, all right, we're going to go with this just real simple thing? Or was it a design goal to be like, you have one decision and here it is? I'm so curious.
Yeah, so I mean, that's my goal, to design a game as good as Loot, one of my favorite games of all time. So it's just that simple. That's all.
Did you ever play Paper Tales?
No.
So
I've heard good things, though.
It has very little to do with that discussion, but it does have this like seasonal perennial aspect to it, in that you play, I forget how many rounds, but each round you have like, you're going to draft cards, and you only have like 4 slots of cards, and it's like your front ones, which are kind of defensive, as well as other things, and then your back ones. And you can carry some cards over, but they all have like they all receive like a death token each time. And then once they, I don't think it's called a death token, but whenever they get however many death tokens that they're allowed, they're out of the game. But there's things that can prevent that and things like that. But it has this weird feeling of, I can leave these things out for a couple rounds, or I can sort of start my team new. And it's like, it's the most interesting decision, I think, in that game is like, do I keep someone out or do I start over? And do I kind of try to keep this going? And it's a little Perennial feel to it.
Watching things age as you go through a game. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's neat. All right. Well, there's Perennial.
Cool.
And so we will end this with our new slogan. Slogan? That's not even the right word. Our new send-off, our sign-off, where I say that I am Jason Tagmeyer.
I'm Rob Cramer. I'll see you next week.
And I'll be back doing this tomorrow. See you guys.
Bye.